welcome back to another episode of A Change of Heart podcast. I'm your host, Angel Jackson, and if you're joining me for the first time, hey girl, come on in, welcome, get comfortable. If you are a returning listener, hey girl, hey, come on in. You already know the drill. You're already good and comfortable. Today, we are going to have a little bit of a fun episode. I said in the beginning of this season that I had some episodes sprinkled in that are fun and lighthearted as we are talking about healing in real time. I didn't want every episode to feel like it's something to do, something to think about, something to fix. So we're going to have us some fun today as I share my 40 to 40 list. But before we do that, we're going to do our vitals check. I'll go ahead and start us off with my vitals. My vitals are pretty good this week. I started the 31-day reset. If you don't know what I'm referring to, I shared it in the last episode, and there's a clip on YouTube as well with information about it. But it is a community of like-minded women who have come together for the month of August to really be intentional about reconnecting and giving God a fresh yes. And we started that on August 1st, and I'm really excited about what God is going to do throughout these next couple of weeks with these ladies. If you want to join, you can still do so. The 7-day devotion that we were doing together, that will actually finish up on tomorrow, but I have left the registration for it open because we're starting a 21-day fast on Monday, August 10th, and you can still be a part of that. I will link the information to sign up in the description box, but I am closing it as of August 10th so that I can make sure that I'm getting the emails out to everyone. So if you're interested, if you missed the first one for the August 1st initial start of it, feel free to join us for the 21-day fast. But I brought that up because I've really been enjoying just seeing the comments on the devotion that we're doing, the community that's being built. And I really just believe that this is going to be a time for God to allow us to encounter him in a new and a fresh way. So I'm really excited about that. Let me know your vitals. How are you doing? How's your heart? How can I be praying for you? Do you have any good news? Let us know. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about my 40 to 40 list. So a 40 to 40 list is 40 things that you want to do before you turn 40. And I was inspired to do this by Melissa Fredericks, aka Mrs. Kev on Stage. A few years ago, maybe like four years ago, I believe, she shared on her podcast at the time that she was doing a 40 to 40 list. And she had a couple of things on there that she had either always wanted to do or something that she was afraid of doing that she wanted to put on her list. It's like a bucket list before you turn 40. And so immediately I was like, the closer I get to 40, I'm gonna start a 40 to 40 list because 40 is known as a milestone, and I turned 38 this year in May. And so I wanted to give myself enough time so that I could get through this list. And I'm saying this for myself because as I've created this list, I found myself wanting to check things off. And it's like, sis, you got 2 years. Like, that's the point. It's not for us to rush through this list. And so I am gonna share some things on social media as I'm checking them off of my 40 to 40 list. I'm not gonna share everything, but I am going to share some of the highlights as I'm going through my 40 to 40 list, but it's going to be a slow process because I have 2 years, a little bit under 2 years now to check some things off. So let's go ahead and get into the list. And let me tell you now, I'm going to tell y'all majority of the things on my 40 to 40 list. I'm not going to tell y'all everything that's on my 40 to 40 list because some of this stuff is my business. But let's go ahead and get into the first one. And let me say this is in no particular order. These are I just kind of typed them out as they came. So the first one I have on here is to try new restaurants using the alphabet game. So this is real simple. The alphabet A through Z, pick a restaurant that starts with the letter of each alphabet. So I put this on here because I'm a creature of habit and I typically go to the same restaurants all the time. I order the same meal all the time and I wanted to try something different. So this is forcing me out of my comfort zone because the restaurants that I'm trying, it has to be a new restaurant. So it can't be somewhere I've already gone before. It has to be a new restaurant. So that's number one. Number two, learn the Tamia line dance. If you're not familiar or don't know what I'm referring to, let me insert the clip. So that is on my 40 to 40 list. I have it down to an extent. It's the pas de bourrée and the turn. That gets me every time, but I'm going to learn that before I turn 40. Next thing on my list is to get out of credit card debt. I am tired of owing people. I recently sat down and made a very detailed and intentional debt payoff plan to have all of my debt paid off. It's not going to be quite before 40, but it's going to be very close to it. So my goal is to be very disciplined and intentional over the next 2 years so that we can officially check that off of our 40 to 40 list. And going along with credit card debt, I want to be done with my student loans. I qualify for public service loan forgiveness. Y'all, I have 8 payments left. So as of April of 2027, I should officially be done with all of my student loans through public service loan forgiveness. And I'm so frustrated with this because of all of the runaround, the rigmarole when it came to the save plan, the appeals, all of that, it forced me into an administrative deferment because I was on the save plan. And if you made payments during that time, it wasn't going to qualify for a public service loan forgiveness because we were in an administrative forbearance. But if I could have paid it during those months, I would have been done by now. So I filled out the application to see if I can do the PSLF buyback. For anybody that don't have student loans or don't know about public service loan forgiveness, none of this matters to you, but I'm sharing for anyone who does know what I'm referring to and like, oh, why don't you do this? I've applied for public service loan forgiveness buyback. If you know anything about that, the backlog is outrageous. There are people who applied for that back in 2024 and they're saying they still have not gotten a response. So more than likely, I will meet my 120 payments for PSLF come April before I would actually even get a response at this point for the PSLF buyback. But we are so close yet so far away. 8 months left and we will be officially done with paying Sally Mae, paying Mohila. I will officially be done with student loans. Next on my list, and let me say this, all of these things on this list are subject to change. I can change them at any point. This is my 40 to 40 list. That's my business if I choose to change them. But as for now, I have on here to run or jog a 5K. And I say things are subject to change because I've really been more so into walking than running lately as I'm pushing 40. Running is hard on your body, okay? Joined a run crew, We Off the Couch, last summer, and me and two of my girlfriends, we would go every Monday for the most part when it was the women's run, and we would run with them. A 5K was 3 miles every single Monday. And although I did like that, I love the community, I would highly recommend it. It is hard on my body. My hips be hurting, my knees be hurting, my feet be hurting, and I have the insoles, all the things. I am a lady of a certain age, okay? And so I do want to be mindful of that. And I know specifically as far as my toning, weight goes, all of that, that I can achieve it by walking, and that is easier in your body. So the 5K, running specifically a 5K, may or may not change from the list. We shall see. Next is establish a consistent hair care routine. I've been trying to do this for the longest, and I've really been struggling with trying to find a hair care routine that is good for fine, high porosity hair. And I don't even know if the porosity even matters at this point, but I've tried products and it just seems like my hair is not retaining length at this point. My hair has thinned a lot over the years, and I'm trying to figure out what is the best option for that because I have been on the struggle bus since I turned maybe like 35, 36. I noticed like my hair has shifted in a lot of ways. The density has shifted, the rate at which my hair, I don't think the rate at which my hair is growing has changed, but I am not retaining length like I used to. And I can definitely tell. I've tried to do twist outs and it's given, child, this is not it. It's not hitting how it was 10 years ago. So that is definitely one of my top priorities right now. Another thing on my list is to establish a consistent skincare routine. And some of the things I have actually already checked off, and I will let you all know as I'm going through them. This is one that I have checked off. Kinda. So I have a consistent skincare routine that I've been using for over a year now, and I do like it. The products work, but there are some products that I want to add into it that I feel like I should have as I'm getting older. Just considering like anti-aging stuff. I feel like I need a good eye cream, and I do have one that I've been using. It's an e.l.f. one. I haven't really seen like any significant change in it, but I've been using it for, it's been months now. So, but I do feel like I want to incorporate some more anti-aging things that I may not necessarily be thinking about or haven't thought about in the most recent years. So all of my ladies 40 and up, tap in. If you have any suggestions, what are your holy grail? This is a must have. I gotta have it. I love this when it comes to skincare. or even makeup products that you're using that you swear by as you've gotten older. Help a girl out. Next on the list is to take a solo trip. So my husband and I have been talking about this because I've been wanting to take a solo trip for a while, and he obviously, his biggest concern is safety, but it's something I've wanted to do. And I've taken a solo trip, but like to Virginia Beach. I live in Virginia, so to me that's not quite the same because it's like this, it's a trip, but it's also down the street. And I want to maybe do like North Carolina, like start out on a smaller scale, not trying to do no international solo trip, not yet at least, and just do what I want to do. I get to pick the hotel, I get to pick the restaurants, I get to pick the to-do list. Like, I'm really looking forward to that. I don't know exactly when I'm going to do that, but I'm looking forward to it. Next is take a cruise. So I have never been on a cruise before, and I was kind of skeptical about it because I don't like the idea of feeling confined, but I always hear people say there's tons of things to do on a cruise. So even though you are in a confined space while you're on the ocean, there's so much to do. You don't even necessarily like realize that you're on a boat. You can do so many things and not get bored. I need like a 3-day cruise starting out. I don't want to do these 5, 7, 10 days, 21 days. Ain't nobody got time for that. I want to start out with 3 days, see if I like it. And then if so, then we will progress beyond that. One of my besties, she swears by cruises. She goes on cruises all the time and she loves it. So I said, I want to at least try a cruise. And this goes into another thing on my 40 to 40 list, and that is to do a couples trip. So I shared before that one of my girls got married recently, and it's a group of 4 of us, and all of us are now married. And so we have been talking about doing a couples trip for a while now, and we've talked about possibly doing a cruise. So I really want to do a couples trip, of why did I get married type of vibe. And then there's also we have a few other friends as well that we could do a couples trip with. You know how you can't do couples trips with everybody. You can't travel with everybody. We have, I feel like, a solid list of couples who we would feel comfortable traveling with and that we know would be a good time and no mess. So that is definitely on my 40 to 40 list. I would like to do sooner, more so than later, but that has been something that has been in talks for a really long time that I would love to see actually get out the group chat. Next is to attend a concert solo. So I'm actually going to be checking this off. I can't remember if the concert is in, it was in September or October, one of the two, but I'm going to see Madison Ryan Ward, and I'm really excited about it because the first time she went on tour, I had planned to go and the tickets sold out so fast. But I'm going to see her either in September or October, so I'm super excited about that. Next is take a spontaneous road trip. And when I say spontaneous, I mean wake up and let's go to DC. Let's go to Virginia Beach. Let's go to something. And I'm saying these places because it's meant to be a let's go and come back the same day kind of thing. Or even if we want to do it overnight, but somewhere that we can drive, that the drive is not like 5, 6 hours. I don't want to do that. I want it to be a quick little getaway where we can go and come back. And this can be either a solo spontaneous trip or my husband can come if he wants to. Next, I want to learn how to swim. So a part of it is as we go on vacations more, I love a pool, okay? I love a pool. I do not want to swim in the ocean, but I love being in the pool, and I would really love to know how to swim when I'm on vacation, especially if we want to do some type of excursion or something that requires swimming. But also, I have a niece, and she'll be 7 in November. She loves the water, and as she is getting older, I want to be able to have experiences with her that I can participate in, and I don't want to like have to be on the sidelines as she's in the pool swimming, living her best life. I want to be able to swim with her as well. And also, God forbid, if something were to happen, I would want to be able to save her if I needed to. At this rate, she might be saving me though. Next on the list is have a birthday party. Now, this is another one that is subject to change. And the reason for that is when I put this on here, I was thinking like, oh, I'm doing a 40 to 40 list. It would be cool to have a 40th birthday party, right? To celebrate my list and me turning 40. However, I also typically do not like doing anything for my birthday. And I'm not someone who likes when doing something where the focus is me, solely me. I feel real awkward and uncomfortable with that. So I don't know if I'm actually going to go through with this, but as of right now, we have on here, we're going to do a 40th birthday party. So we shall see. Next, I have host another women's event or a conference again. I've hosted conferences in the past when I was doing Change Hearts, and I haven't hosted one in some years now, but that is something that I would like to do. That's on my 40 to 40 list. Next, commit to a consistent workout routine and healthy eating habits. I don't need to elaborate on that. That has been my go-to forever, and we're still working on it, okay? Next is to establish a consistent morning and night routine. So I don't really have either. Like, I do to an extent have somewhat of a night routine, but nothing outside of like what my husband and I do together. I don't have an individual night or morning routine. And a large part of that is because, specifically with my morning routine, is I go to work so early. My alarm goes off at 4 a.m. for work. And I cannot wake up any earlier than I do. I just can't. And so the idea of adding other things to create a morning routine, specifically Monday through Friday, it just feels very unrealistic given what my work schedule is. So my morning routine would really start when I get off from work, but it's the afternoon at that point. And it just feels like it doesn't make sense to do what a typical person would do in the morning when I get off or when I get home around 2:30. So I have to figure out what that necessarily looks like for this season because that's not changing anytime. So yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what that will look like for me to have a consistent morning and nighttime routine and what exactly I want that to consist of. Moving along, the next one I can say that I have checked off is to find a mentor or a life coach. I reached out to someone back in January of this year, and I've been wanting a mentor for years, and it's something that I had put off for a number of reasons. But I recently did connect with someone, and we meet once a month, and it's been a really, really good experience. I'm really excited to see how our relationship continues to evolve. But that has been a great addition to my life so far. Next thing is to take a class. So I want to take some type of class, and this can be something that is like a one and done thing, or it can be like 3, 4, 5 classes. So I'm thinking like this can be a cooking class, a dancing class, a salsa class, just some archery class. Like I just want to do something that is a new experience. I learned something new. So yeah, that's the whole point of it, is learning something new. All right, moving along, have a luxury solo date. So I'm thinking of, when I say luxury solo date, I'm thinking of like a full day at the spa, a dinner at a like top dining experience kind of situation, having I don't know, an overnight stay at like a luxury hotel, something of that nature. I don't have it all the way figured out, but something along those lines. So this next one, judge your mama. So I said, define my personal style. And then I put in parentheses, invest in quality clothing and signature pieces, outgrow Shein. Stuff is expensive, okay? Don't judge me. But I do want to figure out what my signature style is. What are the things that I like? I was telling one of my girlfriends that I am in a space where I want to be in my lover girl era. I want to be soft. I want to be in floral and satin. Like, I want to be like the pretty, like, cutesy girl. I want to be like, in my mind, I want to be that. And so I'm trying to incorporate that into my attire. So we shall see how that goes. Next thing on my list is to buy a pair of diamond earrings. And this is subject to change as well, because I technically have a pair of diamond earrings, but they were gifted to me. But the earrings are my birthstone, which is an emerald, and then it has diamonds around it. And I do like those, but I think I'm going to I'm going to gift myself, maybe for my 40th actually, a pair of diamond earrings. So we shall say. Next is to invest in my podcast. And hopefully you can tell that this has been checked off. There are some things that I still want to do, some ideas that I have, but for the most part, I've upgraded my microphone, as I hope you can tell. We've upgraded our background. I got new lighting. And so there are some things that I have wanted to change, some things that I wanted to do to bring the quality up. And hopefully if you've been watching on YouTube, you see that those changes have been made. But overall, I feel good at where it is right now, but I also know that there's some other things that I would like to do to elevate it a little bit more. But for now, I'm really content with what we got going on. All right, moving along, take family pictures. So if you follow me on Instagram, then you know that this has been checked off. I told my mom and my sister that I wanted us to take family pictures with our husbands and then also my niece. And so we did that it was sometime in June, and we did it through the JCPenney studio and had a really nice experience. So I'll insert some pictures as I'm talking about it, but I really, really love that. And I made my mom a photo album of all the pictures for her birthday this year. So that was really fun. I'm really glad that we did that. Next on my 40 to 40 list, and probably the most important thing on my 40 to 40 list, I want to get a dog. So, for anyone who knows me, knows that I have always had a dog. Like, our family has always had a dog as I was growing up. I have no memories of not having a dog growing up. And the only time that I have not had a dog in my life was when I was away at college and when I was essentially on my own. And so this has been an ongoing conversation in my household. There's some things that my husband would like us to have in place before we get a dog. And I get it. I'm on board with it, although I want it right now, but I get where he's coming from. But I want this dog so bad. And we've already discussed what his name will be. It'll be a boy. We do want a boy. And we've already discussed what his name will be. And I've already decided on what his nickname will be. And I cannot wait. This is going to be my version of a baby announcement, okay? Y'all know I don't want kids. This will be my baby. And I cannot wait to get this dog. It will take over my life. I cannot wait. That is the highlight. And I don't even know how this didn't even end up being number one on my 40 to 40 list. But that is definitely my number one thing that I want the most. Next thing is to find a hobby that is just for me. And when I say just for me, I'm referring to doing something that I just get enjoyment out of it. I'm not doing it to create something. I'm not doing it for content. I'm not doing it to sell. I'm doing it because I genuinely like it. This is something that brings me joy. I don't have to think really hard about it. I don't have to do a whole lot, but I'm able to enjoy the process. And so I have not yet found that or figured out what I want that to be, but I'm hoping as I'm going through trying like classes and things that I may find something that I'm interested in there. All right. Next thing is I want to invest in a quality purse. I don't know exactly what that will be. It doesn't necessarily have to be name brand, but I do want a decent quality purse. Next on my list is to increase income through one aligned stream. And I put on here preferably life coaching or podcasting. And I don't want to limit it to that. I don't know exactly what that will be right now, but I do want to increase my income. That is something that's beyond like my regular job that I have. So that is something I want to be intentional about thinking and creating over the next 2.5 years. Next is to solidify my natural, soft beat and full glam makeup routines. So the thing about me is I love a beat. Don't get me wrong. I love doing my makeup. And fun fact, I do not like getting my makeup done professionally. I've had a handful of people who have done my makeup, and there's only one person who has done my makeup well and that I liked it and I had no notes. And that is Chantel with Simply Slay Makeup. She is the only makeup artist who has done my makeup and I had no notes. I liked it. Any other time, I've had my makeup done for events and I have not liked it. I don't know what it is, but it don't be given what I want it to. And so I typically do my makeup myself. And with that, I realized that I don't necessarily have a signature, like this is my go-to. If I have to get ready really quick, this is how I'm going to do my makeup. If I want just something like a quick light beat, this is what I'm going to do. I typically do something similar all the time, but I feel like I'm always kind of figuring out like, what do I want this to look like? How do I want this to be? What do I want? And I want to just have like this is my go-to. And I don't wear makeup every day. Monday through Friday, you're not going to see me in makeup at all. On the weekends, you'll typically see me in makeup. And then if we go on a date throughout the week, then yeah, you'll see me in makeup, maybe depending on where we're going. But I just want to be able to narrow down more of like, this is my routine. This is what we're given. This is what we're doing. This next one, I put a check mark beside it. I think we're done, but maybe also not. I don't know. So figure out the right balance of vitamins and supplements needed for optimal health. So I had blood work done I went online and just found this agency called Mito Health. It's MITO Health. And you go to a lab, you get blood work done, they send it off to them and they test like over 100 different things. Like it's so many different things that they test for. And so I got my results back from that. And then I also met with like one of their virtual nurses, doctors, whatever. And they gave me recommendations of what I needed to take based off of whatever my blood work came back, which showed like my levels were low. I had some issues with cholesterol. My vitamin D was low. It was a couple of things that they suggested that I take. And so I have been sticking with that for the most part. There's some things that they suggested that I don't take anymore. Like one of them was magnesium, but there's pretty much everything that was suggested is a part of my routine now with my vitamins and supplements. So I'm saying, yes, I think that we are going in the right direction, and I've noticed some change, but I also think there's a little bit more room for some other things that could be better. So I'm not 100% that I have fully figured this out and mastered this, but the goal is to continue with what was recommended and also see where we need to implement anything else to feel the best that we can. The next one is I want to be a guest on someone's podcast. And not technically, I have been a guest on podcasts before, but it's just something I want to do again. So feel free to recommend me if you have anyone who you know wants faith-based content, life coaching, whatever it might be, and you think that I would be a good person to have as a guest. Put my name out there, share my podcast with them, but I would like to be a guest on a podcast again. So this next one, I was going back and forth on whether or not I was going to share this one or just let it be one that we skipped over. But we're going to talk about it because I feel like we need to. Maybe not. But I want to have a sexy era. And let me preface it with this. Okay, let me preface it with this. I am a married woman, okay? And I'm sharing this as someone who was very churched and had a warped view of modesty based off of purity culture, church culture, things of that nature. And some of this came not even from like church per se, but even just things that you see on social media as far as pushing this narrative when it comes to modesty. And so with that, I want to redefine and embrace a sexy era for me and mine. And this is not necessarily something that is going to be a social media thing. This is not necessarily something that is advertised per se, but it's more so of me coming into that and owning that without shame or guilt or feeling like, oh, you got to be mindful. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that, especially when I know that it's not a personal conviction for me. And so there's more that I could say about that, but I'm also working on not over-explaining myself. I said what I said. And that's on period. All right, next is to do a tough mudder. So if you don't know what a tough mudder is, ultimately it's like this obstacle course. And I don't know how long it is. I don't know if it's equivalent to a 5K, but there's a lot of mud involved. It is challenging. It's physically challenging and taxing. But I do want to train for that to attempt to get it done. Also subject to change. But one of my girlfriends said that she wanted to do one too. So I'm hoping that we can kind of train together and eventually do that in the near future. All right. Next is to get a concealed weapons permit. That's something that my husband and I have been talking about even before we got married. So that has been on our to-do list for a while. Next is to reread the Bible in its entirety. I've done that before, and I can't remember if I did like a Bible in the year plan or something like that. My focus this go around is not necessarily to try to read the Bible in a year, but I would like to read the Bible from cover to cover again by the time that I'm 40. All right. Next, I want to create a family tradition with my husband and I, and then also a TT and me tradition with my niece. So my niece calls me TT, and I'm trying to figure out as she gets older, I've been asking her, like, well, what do you want to do? What are things that you like to do? And so I want to get into like a consistent routine with establishing some type of like TT and me with her, and then also establishing something for my husband that is a tradition for us, because something that is important to me with us making the decision to not have children is we're very much so still a family. And I feel like sometimes when people say family, most people automatically go to parents, children, like that's a family unit. But we're a family, and I want us as a family, as our family, the Jacksons, to have a tradition that we develop together, that we cultivate together, and something that we both enjoy that we can carry on throughout the years. All right. And then the last one I'm going to share is find my signature scent for each season and occasion. So this, when I say scent, I'm referring to perfume, like my smell goods. I've seen a lot of people talk about how they rotate scents between the seasons. They have scents that are specific for date nights. They have scents that are specific for anniversary. Like there's certain things, and I want to do that. I want to have a specific scent that is for different occasions, different seasons. And the thing is, I do have a good rotation of perfume, but as I said before, I'm a creature of habit. So I tend to use the same perfume over and over and over again until it runs out. Then I just move on to the next one. But I do want to switch it up a little bit more. I want to have my everyday scent. I want to have my going out scent. I want to have my going out with my girl scent. That's different from going out with my man scent. I want to have my vacation scent. I want to have my beach scent. Like I really want something that is specific to each of those. So that is my 40 to 40 list. As I said, there are things, this is not the full 40 to 40 list. I shared majority of them. There's some things that's my business and I'm gonna keep it my business. But these are, for the most part, my 40 to 40 list. And I'm really excited to check things off over the next 2 years and some change. But let me know. Do you have a 40 to 40 list, a 50 to 50 list, a 30 to 30 list, wherever it might be? Let me know if you have anything, or even just a regular bucket list. What are some things that you want to do, accomplish over the next year or before your next milestone? Leave it in the comments. Let's chat. And until next time, don't forget, be whole, be healed, and be authentic. And as I mentioned earlier, ladies, if you would like to be a part of the 31-day reset, specifically the 21-day fast that we are getting ready to start, it is a great community of women. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be a good time. Go ahead and sign up using the link in my bio. And until next time, you all have a great week, and I'll see you next Thursday. Bye.